Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Microsoft Office workshops. Today we're going to talk about PowerPoint basics. My name is William White and again, welcome. A great reason to use PowerPoint is because it's a way to present information to a group of people that can include dynamic images, videos, and animations. Making your presentation interesting is honestly, one of the best reasons to use Microsoft PowerPoint. Um, PowerPoint enables you to actually add those things I just told you about to your presentation. It will give your audience an opportunity to focus on the topic that it is that you're trying to present to them. Using PowerPoint gives you an opportunity to also engage your audience as well. Um, it's a great way to be able to do things like ask questions, um, whether it be about the content or something in general that the audience is interested in. Because the point is to actually get your message across to your audience. Also, PowerPoint allows you to do things like really organize your content. Using slides is a kind of a cool way to actually keep your information organized. It's a way to keep track of your information and stay on task. Because sometimes when you're rolling, when you're talking or discussing something, you're rolling. You might get off point. So if you are actually paying attention to your slides and information and your notes and things like that you have on your slides, then it'll help keep you organized and on task. And again, probably I can't say this enough. Probably one of the most important things that PowerPoint does is it helps to visualize and get your point across to people, because sometimes, especially when it comes to numbers and data and stats, you can lose people can lose interest. It can go over people's heads. But when you use PowerPoint and you add things like animations and images, it can help kind of bring your words to life and keep people engaged. And don't forget, even if some of the things that you discussed or talked about slip by someone, PowerPoint, it's cool that you can make copies, PDFs or just regular copies, and share those afterwards. That way, people don't lose those important, again, especially because of data and numbers, that important information that you wanted to share. If you've used Microsoft Office and PowerPoint before in the past, especially the newer versions, then you are pretty familiar with the screen that you see now. This screen is called a backstage view. What a backstage view allows you to do is it allows you to actually use a template that Microsoft Office has in its library. For example, if you're not sure of what you want your presentation to look like, Microsoft has a whole bunch of stock slides for you, colors, images, designs, things like that. So if you feel like you don't want to create your own, by all means, use a template that Microsoft Office has. Also, don't forget that there are lots of free templates out there on the internet. So do your research to find out what it is that you need. And if you can't find it in Microsoft Office's library, then again, by all means, see what's available out there on the internet. If, however, if you're confident and you want to actually build your own, obviously the best place to start is with a blank presentation. And again, honestly, even if you are new to the process, Starting with a blank presentation will be beneficial because it actually helps build your confidence as far as using the tool, the PowerPoint app. So you click on blank presentation and you're going to get a screen that looks like this. This screen, of course, and like with other apps, PowerPoint uses a ribbon. Inside the ribbon, you've got little icons and pictures. Those are called commands. All these things are the things that we can do that will help us create our slides. And one thing that I tell people a lot is actually creating slides in PowerPoint is extremely simple. The challenge comes when it's time to actually make it kind of dynamic or to customize your presentation. And obviously, of course, giving it as well if you have stage fright, but actually building your slides is fairly simple, so that won't be a problem. It's just going to take some practice customizing and making it look the way you want it to look to be effective, to be an effective presentation. So, screen here to our left, you'll see this narrow vertical column there. That's actually called your navigation pane. What it does is it shows you your slides that you have there, and it allows you to view and organize them as well. So it starts off with a blank slide, and once you create one, you hit new, another one will populate this pane to the left here. And each time you create a new one, it'll populate the navigation pane with that new slide that you've created. To the right, you've got your actual slide pane. This is where you can actually, it's larger obviously, so you can actually edit and insert and add your text and data and information. The boxes that you actually see inside the pane are called placeholders. And placeholders are basically where you can add your information. And of course, our status bar at the bottom, we've got a slide indicator, tells you how many slides you've got inside your presentation. And obviously to the right, well, also what's cool is the fact that you can actually add notes to each slide. And what's cool about that is when you do a presentation, even if you're just practicing, the audience, they'll just see the slide, and they won't see the notes at the bottom of the slide. You'll be the only one that'll be able to see those notes. They're called speaker notes. Notes are cool because maybe you forgot something that you're talking about, and you can look at your notes there and go ahead and add that to what it is you're talking about. And of course, you got your view layouts and your zoom in and zoom out as well. Again, slide basics, actually knowing what some of the commands do would be very helpful. And what I always tell you guys is play around with the commands so you can see what they do and how those commands actually affect your slide. And get comfortable with that and know that you're not going to break anything. And when you insert a new slide, again, the placeholders, they'll show you where your content can be for that particular slide layout. So that's something we'll talk about next, different layouts for your slides. So your slides have certain spots where you can put information. And that's basically called a layout for your slide. For the most part, most people will actually use title and content for their layout, which is fine, which is totally fine. The top placeholder, that's a place maybe you can put your title of your slide or your presentation. And the bottom placeholder, that's where you can insert or add things, whether it's text or images, pictures, videos, or what have you. And again, there are different sorts of layouts depending on how you want your slide to look. you can choose your layout accordingly. And again, here we've got title and content. We type in our title, the title of our presentation, or the subject of that particular slide, however you want to do it. And then you click on the next placeholder and you type in the information that you're going to talk about, that the title covers. And again, you guys will notice that there are 6 little pictures inside the second placeholder. If you clicked on those pictures, it will allow you to actually insert something from what that picture represents. For example, chart, graphs, smart art, pictures from your PC or pictures from the internet, and videos from your PC or from the internet as well. Once you've entered your information, you'll go to your ribbon, and on your ribbon, once you finish that first slide and you've entered your information, you're going to go back to your top to your ribbon, and on your ribbon there's a new slide command. The new slide command is a larger one. It's got 2 things on it. One, it's got a little picture image of a slide, and underneath that it's got the words new slide. If you want to select a different layout, you can click on new slide, and that's going to give you the option of all those choices of layouts, like so. Choose your next slide layout and enter your information for your second slide. Like so. So we've got our first slide here. We've entered the title of our presentation. Second slide, we're going to probably talk about what the animal rescue does. If for some reason you wanted to change that second slide, it's not a problem. The layout of the second slide, that's not a problem. You can go back up to the your ribbon and click on layout and change that. So maybe you wanted to change it from a title and content to a to content. You can just click on to content and you'll be good to go. If you want to just use the same layout as the previous slide, that's easy as well. Again, you go back up to your ribbon and you would click on the little slide image. And when you click on the slide image, it will actually pop up the same layout as the previous slide. For example, if your first slide was a title and content, you want to keep it that title and content layout, you can click on the little image of the slide there, and your second slide will be a title and content slide. So if you really want to have total control over your slide layout, then probably using a blank slide is the best option. For people who have done this a lot, who created lots of presentations using PowerPoint, this is probably one of the slide layouts they use most often, actually, because they can actually insert things and place things on the slide where they want. For example, maybe you've got a certain amount of information that you want to put on your slide, and it's sized. Maybe something is 2 inches and you want that in the left corner. Maybe something that's a banner, that's a certain size of a banner that you need to put in the middle. So it gives you, a blank slide gives you more control over your slide. To use a blank layout, again, you'll go to your ribbon. On your ribbon, click on new slide and find the blank layout image, click on that, and you'll be good to go. Again, for the most part, again, lots of people like using the blank slide layout. So when you actually have put together, I'd say 5 or 6 slides, one of the things that you'll probably want to do is actually kind of preview it or play it. And there are a couple of ways to actually do that. Also, there are a couple of ways to actually advance your slides as well. So, to begin with, if you've got a mouse, you're good to go. You can also use your space bar on your keyboard and use your arrows. And obviously, if you consider yourself a big time pro, you'll probably have a clicker, right? So you can use your clicker. All of those will help you advance your slides. That means move from one slide to the next slide when you're doing your presentation. But you definitely want to preview what you've got so you can see, make sure it looks the way you want to. Make sure it looks good to go, and it's good to go. And once you're done with it, you can hit your escape key, or you can right click inside the screen, and the window will pop up. And at the bottom of the window, you can end your show. And I will show you some images of that shortly. And again, customizing your slides and making them really kind of pop as far as being of interest to your audience is something that you might want to get some practice doing. Microsoft actually has some tools on the ribbon that allow you to actually customize your slides without really having to go to the internet to do that if you choose not to. You can do all your customization and making your presentation look good just by using your ribbon. You've got a few commands on your ribbon that will actually help you customize it, from like having a widescreen or a standard screen, changing the color of your background. All of those are options that are available on your ribbon. Again, for example, if you want to change the color of your background, you've got a format background command that you can use, and that'll allow you to change the color of your background. And again, when it comes to colors, you want to stick to maybe a couple colors, so that way, so it's not very busy. You want it to look good. You want your presentation and your slide to look good, but you still want people focusing on the information that's actually inside your slide. So try not to get too carried away with colors. And again, the format background's got your basic colors, white, something light. You probably don't want black or darker colors. Again, don't know what kind of presentation you're doing. Maybe you do. But again, be wary of that. Be wary of the colors that you use. If you've got a later version of Microsoft Office, there's something called design ideas, which is pretty cool. Let's say, for example, you have got a slide where you've got an image and maybe a title on your slide. Well, what happens is that Microsoft will give you some suggestions of how you can kind of set up your slide for you. So you can see here are some suggestions that Microsoft gave us to the right here in the design ideas column to the right. We've got our slide that we created in our navigation pane to the left, all the way to the left, and all the way to the right are some suggestions that Microsoft are giving you. If you see something that maybe interests you, that you would like to try out, by all means click on that slide, and Microsoft will actually apply that style to your slide and to the slides to follow. Another cool thing that you can do to your presentation, to your slides, to make them more interesting is to apply themes and animations. Themes can be anything from colors and layouts to what your slides do as far as motion and movement. Again, themes can be something as simple as just the color. Maybe there's a color scheme. Maybe you've got checkered patterns or a wood wall in the background that represents something. And you can achieve all those things by going to your design tab on your ribbon. Your design tab on your ribbon will give you lots of different themes that Microsoft has available. And again, don't forget what I said about using the internet as well. If you've seen something, a website on the internet that offers you cool looking slides you can use, by all means. Animating text and objects. This is definitely something that you've all probably seen before, especially when it comes to bullet points and lists and things like that when someone's giving a presentation. Maybe someone's talking about a certain point and they click their clicker and a bullet flies onto the screen so they can talk about that point. When they're done talking about that point, maybe they'll click again, their clicker, and another bullet point flies on the screen so they can talk about that point. So that's what they've done, is basically animated those bullets and those objects. And extremely simple. First, before you do anything, like we say in pretty much all of these workshops, is you want to select what it is you want to make a change to. So you click on your, for example, your bullet list, and then you can go to your ribbon. On your ribbon, you've got an animations tab. Click on your animations tab, and when you do that, you're gonna get some choices here for animations. Especially, again, we're going to use the bullets. So if you want to do the fly-in, which basically something I just described, or your bullets fly in, you can select that. Float in, select that. They come in a little slower. Appear, they just appear out of nowhere. Or fade, they just fade in. Lots of different animations you can choose from. And when you click on one, what it'll usually generally do is give you a little preview of it. If not, then there's a preview option, a preview command as well, so you can see what it looks like. You can see what the animation looks like. And again, as always, play around with these so you can get the right look. When you select the animation, you're going to notice little numbers next to each number or bullet or whatever it is that you selected to make a animation for. Those numbers will allow you to do things like rearrange or actually delete something. Maybe you've got 5 animations and you only want 4, so you can delete one. Okay. Again, like it says at the bottom, just like when it comes to colors, you don't want too many animations, too much movement going on. Okay, you wanna make sure your audience is not isn't too distracted, especially from the information that you're trying to get across to them. Again, even with animations, when you selected and chosen your animations for your slides, I would do a preview of your presentation, your slideshow, to see what your animations look like when you do your presentation. Like animation, transitions is something that you can also do to affect your slide. However, animations, what they actually affect are the actual object inside of your slide, while a transition actually affects the entire slide. And again, applying transitions is very simple. Here are some examples of transitions. Maybe you wanted your screen to fade in or to split in half when you select it or when you come to it. Or flash and random, these are some simple things. Probably some of the more popular ones like the curtains or the drop, the origami where it flies, your slide flies away. Again, definitely play around with some of these things and make sure that whatever you choose for animations or transitions or themes, make sure they're appropriate for the presentation that you're doing. Again, there's some more. They're pretty dynamic, so again, I won't say frugal, but be wary of doing too much. And again, applying a transition is extremely simple. Once you've actually made or applied the transition, you want to run your presentation to see what it looks like. You definitely don't want to do things and customize and build your presentation without actually previewing it first. Select maybe the push transition to add to your presentation, and make sure you preview it first. You can preview it within the transition tab, or again, you can just play your presentation. Besides animations and transitions and themes, using video and other sorts of content inside your presentation is kind of like a must-have almost. And actually inserting videos and audio and pictures is extremely simple. If you remember, or if you recall, one of the first things I showed you in the layouts was the title and content layout, where the second placeholder had images where you can actually click on to insert things. So let's say, for example, you are using a blank layout. Still real simple, real easy to insert videos inside your blank layout as well. And you just have to go to your ribbon. On your ribbon, you've got an insert tab. Your insert tab is where you'll find this ribbon here. Once you click on the insert tab, you'll notice that towards the right of your ribbon, you've got a video command. That video command will allow you to actually use a video that you've got stored in your PC, or you can choose something from the internet as well. Most people, they'll probably choose something from a source like YouTube or what have you, which is totally fine. Here we've got a video, a butterfly video that we've got stored on our computer, so we can insert that. And again, if you wanted to insert something from the internet, your video command will give you a couple of options, a couple of places to select your video from. One, again, is from our PC, which I just showed you. Another place is from online. You can choose online video, and it will take you to a source where you can select or embed a code, or copy and paste, or however it is you want to do it. Audio is the same. You go to your insert tab, and you click the audio command, and you can choose something that you've got stored on your computer, or you can actually even record your own audio, whether that's a song or what have you. Extremely simple to do. And one thing that's really cool about the audio and the video files that you can actually insert into your presentation is the fact that you can trim those down. Perhaps, for example, if there's a song that you want to pull something from, maybe you only want to use like the first 15 seconds of a song, like the intro. You can trim that song down to those first 15 seconds. That way you're only using that first 15 seconds, not the entire song. Or video, maybe you want to use a moment 30 seconds into a video, and you only want to use that maybe for like 30 seconds. So you can trim it from the beginning to 30 seconds and down 30 seconds. That way you're only using the amount of the video that you want for your presentation. Once you insert your audio file, you'll see a little image like this. You can hide that image, that's not a problem. It'll give you the option to hide it. They show you this, that way you know that there is an audio file. And again, just like with when you first create your first few slides, when you've added colors and backgrounds and themes, when you've added animations and transitions, when you add videos and pictures and audio, you want to play your slideshow to see what it looks like. Make sure it's what you want. There are a couple ways to do that, of course. If you're lucky and you've got a command on your quick access toolbar, you can click that. And that'll start your slideshow from the beginning. You've also got a slideshow tab on your ribbon. You can click that. When you click that, the first command you're going to see is the from beginning command. You can click that, and that'll start your slideshow from the beginning. Also, on your status bar at the bottom, you've got like a little image of a projector. If you click that, that's going to start your slideshow from whatever slide you've got selected at that time. And again, you use your space bar, your mouse, your arrow keys, or your clicker to advance your slides. Again, playing around with advancing your slides, previewing your presentation, those are all things that you definitely want to do. And it will make you feel a lot more comfortable doing it as well. That way you're not getting any surprises. When you're done previewing your slideshow, you can right click inside your screen. The little screen's going to pop open and you can click on End Show or just hit your escape key. I'm going to change this one too, but don't fret. And please do not destroy your very valuable computer or laptop. Office is definitely something that all of us must have on our resumes if we are looking for jobs. If you can say that you're Microsoft proficient, by all means do so. Play around with the apps so you get comfortable with them. Play around with the apps so you're not stressed out about knowing how to use PowerPoint, Excel, and Word. There are some pretty cool websites out there that actually have free tutorials for Microsoft Office. Allison and Linda are a couple, and Goodwill has a pretty good one called gcfglobal.org. It's pretty cool, easy to use, easy to understand, and free. If you're interested in learning more about Microsoft workshops or workshops in general here at the Will County Workforce Center, please check out the jobsforpeople.org website where you can learn more about all of our programs. If you got any specific questions for me, please email me at white@jjc.edu. Again, thank you. Have a good day and be careful out there.